So welcome everybody, we're here doing the tier list of patch 7.06 it is, I think. I hope it's the right patch, otherwise you will see it different in the title. It's just the latest patch. And we're gonna do the tier list and my personal feeling about the units, plus some addition from the chat. I'm live at Twitch at the moment. And we're gonna do it together. And first of all, I already have a controversial unit which got significantly buffed, especially with no and low stacks in the game. Personally, I would probably put it somewhere between A+ and S-. So I'm gonna put it at S at the moment. The stats it has are just insane compared to a golem, for example. You have more HP per gold, plus a lot more DPS per gold. So it kind of has to be there. Yes, and chat says it's S tier as well, so I think we're in a really good track with the Angler. Next on, we're having Antler. Nothing got changed with the Antler. It is a very solid unit. It's kind of balanced, I would say. And B tier is just a perfect spot for the Antler. Next on, we're having Aqua. And I'm actually, Aqua are kind of same in a spot like Anglers, because they're so strong at the moment in the early game, because every other unit just got nerfed that was good. You can use it as a rogue wave for later waves. You can still use it later on with APS Boar, for example. So I'm actually tempted to place Aqua into S-, or A+, more tending towards S-. So we'd really like to know your opinion in the chat once again. Upper A Aqua, upper A. Okay, some people say upper A. Let's orientate after you then. Upper A. Maybe I changed my mind, but it's either A++ or S-. Next on, we're having Banana Bunk. Banana Bunk feels not overwhelming at all anymore. The best you can use now is not 7-8 anymore, but it is probably 17, because the tank value of Banana Haven is really good. We should place it at A- or B+. I'm now doing B+, because the nerfs are really drastic, and like a unit that is more or less good on like one wave. Yes, you have the Haven for 12 as well, but usually if you can avoid a Haven on 12 or 11-12, you kind of do it because of 13. So I feel like balanced Banana Bunk is in a good spot, even though Banana Bunk is always like, I think there will never be the case that Banana Bunk drops lower than B, because just the stats are not that important, but like attack and damage type is making Banana Bunk a good unit straight from 7 to 12, which makes it a really good unit for the mid game. Next one, we're having Bazooka. Bazooka are balanced. I would personally say they are in a decent spot. You have Pyro. It's super balanced at the moment, if you ask me. You have Zeus, which is a nice opener, but that's about it. Maybe good with Daphne spam for the very late game. But otherwise, I do not really think it's such a broken unit. And you need always a lot of other units around it to enable it. So that's why Bazooka is B tier for me. Antler, Berserker, sorry for this, by the way, is A tier. Why? Because you have a 5-worker opener with some options, for example, Mask, Serpent, Oathbreaker, 5-worker opener that is kind of safe, 7 workers on 5 usually if you get a send on 3, plus Fatalizers do an insane job in the late game due to the changes to 18, and obviously you still have 13 and 20 where it's naturally good. So we have Berserker being A tier. Next, we have Bone Warrior A. It's just not as strong as it was before. I actually like it to be like upper A, at least be in front of the Berserker. It's just overall a good one. Overall a good one. Cindy, we can do this. Alright, next one we have Butcher. Butcher is more or less underwhelming personally. I think it's C tier unit, first C tier unit. If you play with Jules, always feel free to start with Butcher. He will be very happy here. It is just The unit is just too expensive for the usage in the early game, and it's like very strong with certain units, but like really bad with others. Yes, Butcher did get buffed, agreed here, Julian. But like 20 HP in the early game is nice, but it's not perfect. The buff on Head Chef though, which was 100 HP, is quite good. Like I really do like the Head Chef buff, but due to the fact that Butcher is still very limiting on the units you can use, and especially with like the new Kingpin, you have overall less regeneration on the Kingpin, so maybe some people tend away from Butcher and go towards the white main to just use the HP it has more efficient. I feel like it is C tier, but if you say you don't agree and you would put it in B, please let me know. The upgrade is strong mid-game, 100% agreed. Dublin Phoenix, yes, exactly. That's what my feeling is as well, Chaikum, and I think if it's like only viable with like a super minor part of the units, that's like my problem with it. All right, next one we have Buzz. Buzz is for sure A tier, probably one of the best tier 1s in the game, very strong in the early game. That's it. Like Consort especially, very good on 4. You have the defense, the passive spell, which is putting some magic damage dot on a unit that killed the Consort or the boss, is really helping sniping some range units from time to time. So A tier is the perfect place. Oathbreaker, early game unit, A tier. They're really good in the early game if you can make them semi-tank or just drop below 50 HP and then stay like this. So I think they're in a really, really good spot like this. Pilgrim. This one is hard because I kind of feel like it is upper B tier now. It might still be A tier though. Like I probably put it at like best B tier unit at the moment because I personally feel that like the nerfs are fine. It is perfect with a really good composition. For example, a Green Devil Antler, or like a Seria Antler, or just a Sora Antlers, like those. But I feel like you always need at least 1 or 2 units on top to be good. But I'm like either B+++ or A-. So we have a lot of A's here. We have a little bit of B. At the moment it's like 50-50 A and B. So I will leave it there. I'm gonna have an eye on the chat and maybe change it if there's like convincing arguments. Disciple, I think it's a good unit. It's a very good buff for some units, so A tier. Next one, we have the Exec. And please, this is probably like the most critical unit in this tier list, because Exec is going to be S tier. But please hear me out. Exec is S tier if you have a safe egg option on wave 3 or wave 4, whatever you play, or somewhere else in the early game. Let's say you have like super good units for 9 and 10 and you go Exec on 9, you will protect it, then Exec is still a very good unit. But personally, what I've seen the last games and what I also played recently, I feel like Exec is really strong if you get a full stack Exec in the early game. It is gonna give you an insane amount of workers. I had a game, I got starved even, and I was 11 workers on 5. Like after 5 I was 11 workers, which is insane for Exec. Just due to the insane damage buffs and insane HP buffs. It gets 400 more HP and a lot more DPS. So whenever you get the Exec in the early game, take it if you can have it safe. Take the Exec, but in the later game, I personally do not recommend to place it anymore because you just sacrifice a lot of time. You could spend or generate lithium with a bigger amount of workers, or you can just place other units because sometimes your egg is breaking due to a bad position you have, a bad split you have, your mate leaking, you're leaking, stuff like this. You cannot push. All those factors come into play, and Exec super strong in the early game. Absolutely S tier if you can have a full Exec in the early game. You're gonna be in the worker lead unless you get full starved the whole game. Do not place it after, I would probably not place it after 14 anymore if you don't have to. Alright, next one we have Wanderer. It got buffed, got nerfed. I think I had it B tier before. I think it's still B tier. According to the nerfs, it was a really strong unit. And yes, I do agree, it's really nice if you can make it like die and then come back, and then it's not getting attacked, so it's dealing a lot of damage and stuff like this. But overall, I think it's just still in a niche, and you rather use it as like, okay, just place it there full tanking. So I think B tier is still fine for it. We have Phoenix. Phoenix is probably the best, or one of the best magic damage units at the moment. So for me it is A tier now, but lower A tier, so lower A tier, so more towards B. Alright, next one we have Gargoyle. Personally, Gargoyle is for me a balanced unit. Not much to say about it, it's just not a unit I personally like because of the magic arcane requirement. Next one we have Gate Guards. Gate Guards is for sure C tier. It's just a very bad unit, but you can play it in specific moments of the game. So we will have it in C tier here. I know Penny will not agree on this one, but Gate Guard is C tier. Buckler, a nice and balanced unit, I think. It's just middle of balance. Let's just put it somewhere in the middle. Graal, I mean, we do not have to say anything about Graal, right? Graal is just insane. Just the ability to sell for a bigger unit, especially now with the tactic move between, do I have an Exec or do I go Fireworker Graal into LOD or Firelord, can be a super advantage. Graal is going to be a monster as King Claw in the late game. You have the Ocean Templar buffs. Graal is probably never going to be lower than A tier. Next one we have Boa, and Boa is not only in my heart, where it is since it got released, but personally I feel like it is a very strong unit as well, and I cannot put it in S yet, but it is absolutely at the very top of A, behind Aqua, because Aqua is just the best unit in A. So Boa is a very nice tank if you can afford it with some sources of AoE. Take it, very good tank, nice splash damage, all you want. Okay, I think I did not see any convincing arguments so far. That's fine for me. Next on, a critical one once again, where I would like your opinion, because I personally think Harpy belongs into C tier. Like, yes, it got changed a little bit more towards Sky Queens, less Harpy damage in the early game, but overall, Harpy is just, you just need so many units. You need a buff, which is in the best case Leviathan. You need good tanks. You kind of need Infiltrator in case you get a Centaur. Like, there's so many units you need for Harpies. I personally just feel the unit requires too many others to be good. And then even then, Harpy spam is not the best. Put it in D. You think so? You really think so? Actually, I'm fine with putting it into D. Need another unit tier for Harpy. Oh, with like Harpy and Canopy? Okay, so let's put it in D then. This is fine. This is fine. Next one we have Flower. Flower's balanced Infiltrator. A really nice unit because of the Shuriken ability, but lower A tier. Maybe upper B. Somewhere here. I cannot really decide. Maybe you have a better idea if it is rather a B plus or A minus. Let me know, please. Next one, I'm just gonna hit some units I do not have to say too much about. Looter is just average, it's fine. LOD average to maybe even C already, because like the latest nerfs hit it hard. With the gate buffs, you have just gate being the better unit. For 18, you have fatalizers, you have Phoenix, you have halos that are better. So I really like it at like lower B tier. It is still very nice on 11, but after this I personally don't like LOD that much anymore. At least not C tier. Okay, let's leave it in B then. Let's leave it in B. Mask. Mask is fine, but not more than balanced. So let's just put it in the very middle of balanced. Just the loss of, I think it was 20 or 30 HP. I'm not 100% sure anymore. It was just insane. So it does not deserve to be placed higher, even though it's very nice in the later game if it's upgraded. Millennium is a balanced unit. Yeah, it's balanced. It's not worst B though. It's a balanced unit. Maybe even C. Like, I think it's balanced, but it's like, if you can choose better, you usually want to. I think just have it like lower B tier is fine. Yes, B tier tune. Okay, I agree. Mudman, insane tank, has to be very, very high in A tier because of the mind game ability with the Harden. You just have a nice tank that is doing what you expect from a tank. It's a meat shield and I really do like this. Nikomata, it's fine. It's balanced. Nightmare. Personally, I would like to do in C tier, but it's with Butcher, it's really good, so we put it in balanced. Peewee, balanced unit. Polywog, balanced unit. Asaria, S tier. Asaria is simply in the S tier. Wait, how do we do this? This is the best for sure. Graal is the best for sure. Then it's Egg. I think this is a good order. Asaria, S tier, it's a very good and common opener in high elo. And yes, it is not S tier for every elo, but it is definitely F tier in competitive play. And this is what counts in my tier list here. So you disagree with my poly in B tier. Can you please explain? Yes, the upgrade of the Devilfish is really good. Potas better than Egg, yes, but that's why I explained before that my Egg is only in S tier because of the exec, full exec on 3, otherwise it's way lower. So where's the argument, Penny, in anything besides the Devilfish, which is a really good one? It's most versatile tier 1. Disagree. This is Bonebury, I think, still. I think Penny hates Poly. Okay. Maybe put it in S and A then. You think I should rather put it in A? I'm not gonna do it higher than lower A. Okay, I'm gonna keep an eye on the chat. Atoms. I think atoms are balanced, but at the little bit of the top. Next one we have Rangers. Rangers are bad unless you play for the very late game. There are some comps that can be good at the moment, like fast units attacking, Halos for example, Zeus. Then 8 Rangers are a play, or like 7 Daphnes of course. But otherwise Ranger for any other wave than boss waves or super late game, they're just useless. Ranger B tier, Poly maybe upper B tier. Okay, let's do Poly upper B tier. I disagree with the Ranger because it's just super like picky. So at the moment S tier is Atlanthean Legion. Atlanthean Legion has always been the best. Atlanthean Legion has always been the best Legion. Or like the last two or three seasons, Atlanthean was always the best Legion to play. Like mech is sometimes here and there competing with Atlanthean, but just for a straightforward, I'm gonna play my stuff, I can cover any wave game, you just pick Atlanthean. Next one we have Steed. Steed is balanced for me. Stats are very weak, but the spell is very nice. Sandbatcher, insane tank. This is exactly the Mudman in Arcane. Very nice unit. Deep Coiler S tier. Why? You deny a lot of ranged sense. Insane DPS. You have very good holds on 7 and 8. the best unit for 7 and 8 at the moment, so you have just 3 major reasons to put it in S tier, and I think we cannot put it there. It has to be there. Please, once again, remember, this exec here is only the full exec on 3. If you don't have a full exec on 3, this egg moves down towards B. The only Atlanthean that isn't in S? Oh, true. I didn't even realize. Yes, but the Atlanthean Legion is just the best. The units are a little bit better the units themselves are a little bit better in Mastermind, because like you often do not use the synergy of Kingpin, Asaria, Serpent and that stuff. At least you didn't before the last patch, because Kingpin was not broken without stacks. Now you can actually use it because you do not need the stacks anymore. Yes, but Atlanthean is for sure the best Legion, and it was the last 3 seasons. Now we have Gate. I think Gate is upper medium B tier. It is balanced unit. If you have good ads, it is for sure a very strong unit in the mid and late and super late game. I feel like it is a very decent unit. Next on, Tempest is personally underwhelming. Tempest with Violet though, very strong. Tempest with Firelord, very strong, but that's it. And that's why I would put it in C tier, but it doesn't deserve to be last in C. Personally, I think it is best in C. Pota in A. Like, the thing is with Pota, if you're a good player, Pota is a very snowbally unit, and you also limit a lot of sense with it. So I stick to my opinion with Pota being S tier. Tempest is between C and B. Yes, that's same for me. That's why it's this upper C. More towards C, because like there's only 2 good flying units you combine it with, and the rest is like not really good. Next on we have Varg. Varg is an insane unit. It is like upper A tier. Not only one of my favorite comps you can play, but also super strong, because there's a lot of unit that perfectly fit in between the Lioness value and the Alpha Male value, and you can have insane clutch holds with this later on. Well, next unit we have Windhawk. But before, we have to cover this little creature here as well. Canopy is just the worst unit in the game at the moment. It is totally useless. Any other arcane unit is going to be better. Anybody else saying something different is wrong. Yes, Canopy got a new buff, but it's still not enough. The only way I see Canopies and Wildshrooms being good at the moment is Pilgrim, because with Desert Pilgrim you get the full heal amount into those units, so you profit a lot from the comp. But overall, since you cannot start save 4 workers Desert Pilgrim Canopy without building like a retard at the moment due to some targeting changes made a long time back, I personally, it just has to be D tier. It just has to be D tier. If you want to play it, please do it, but don't cry afterwards that it's bad. Next one we have Windhawk. Windhawk, as I said before, with Tempest, really good. Very nice unit with Varg, but overall it is balanced, I would say, so it just belongs into the balanced list. Next one we have a balanced unit, a little bit more towards B+. Yosora, just a decent tank, nice spell, very good spell for the later game. You can buff it with Chieftains, it's very nice with Butcher or White Man buffs as well. So Yosora fits very well into the upper balanced tier. Next one we have APS, and the thing is with APS itself, or not with non-perfect units, is bad. APS with good units, Aquas, Asterias, Asteria Mask, you have Halos, you have... There's other choices, Daphne, Zeus, Pyros. Asteria APS MPS is giving you huge buffs, and that's why I put it in lower A tier, just because of those decent amount of units you get insane value with, and the other units it's like meh. Please put Wildroom at least C. The thing is, I still do not think that it is in such a good spot. Like, yes, I personally would put Canopy into C, but Wildroom as a Wildroom is just D if you don't have the perfect setup. Like Canopy, I would agree, but Wildroom... Okay, hear me out. Since we have Ranger, no, not Ranger, since we have Butcher in C tier, we have... I'm gonna give you the chance to put Wildroom into lowest C tier. Let's continue. Canopy B, Wildroom D. Yeah, okay, so we have C in the middle. Okay, agreed. I still don't think Canopy is in B yet, but I'm fine with this. Warg, Infiltrate, and then While. No, I personally think Cat is in a better spot there, Penny. Next one we have Elite Archers. Yes, people might gonna cry, but Elite Archer is in a really weak spot at the moment, but it's the best in C. Maybe it's lower B. It's lower B. It's lower B. It's lower B. No. Yeah, let's put it there. I cannot put it in B yet because it is just very useful still in the late game. In the mid and early game, it is really underwhelming. So it's like, it's hard. Probably put it here. And last but not least, we have the Radiant Halo and Arc of Justice. Personally, for me, and the last S tier unit. Probably everybody agrees with me on this, even though I just see some people memeing around the Tempest in C tier. You didn't hear me out when I was explaining why I put it there, because it's a bad unit on its own, very strong with Windhawk and Phoenix, and like meh with other flying units. That's why it is C tier for me. We just have a lot of weak waves with it. I wonder if Halo is better than Aqua. That's a good question, Julian. That's a good question. Wonder if Halo is better than Aqua. That's a good question, because Aqua has so much cover potential in the early game that Halo doesn't give. So they are the spots they fit, which is Aqua covering a lot of early game plus buffing the late game, and Halo be like, okay, I'm the boss layer plus I cover late game. Actually, you're right about this. So I have to say Halo and Aqua are around the same, but since Aqua covers the first wave that you will always have to play, and Halo's, the first good wave for Halo is actually 10 that you might not even reach in any game, I'm gonna choose Aqua over Halo. But thanks for your reminder. You're absolutely right in this about this topic. That's the tier list for now. I hope, yes, you might not agree 100% on the tier list, but this is a lot of my personal opinion in as well. So it's very hard for me still. Those two can be S tier, they can be A+++. It is like very close. But since SSP says it already, there's already too many units in S tier, so I kind of want to leave them in this spot. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the tier list. If you have any different opinions, let me know in the comments. And yeah, have a good day. Bye bye.